afternoon. It's Monday. We made it through a weekend. We're here. It's Monday afternoon at 2 o'clock, and you are all here with me. Was there really no sound? That's you, my dear. Who in this TZIBT said no sound. That's you. You obviously can't hear me. The sound is broadcasting. Dr. Dentist's birthday is today. Happy birthday. It is good to be here. The show today, we're going to talk about Snap. There was a huge controversy over the weekend with this, and there are a lot of nefarious things going on, but there's a positive, as I always like to find the positive out of things. And so we did find some positives this past weekend, but we're going to go over it together. If you are watching this on any platform, please hit a thumbs up, share it out with your friends, like it. If you're listening to this on audio podcast, hey guys over on Spotify, I see your comments. Thank you so much for leaving them. It's so wildly appreciated. If you could rate this on Apple Podcast in particular, let's focus on Apple Podcast. If you are listening on Apple Podcast, please like the show, leave a review, hopefully a good one. And we'll be on with it. Who do we have in the chat today? We have CJP is here. We have Mark. Dr. Mark is here. We have Anna. We have Lisa. We have TZ, who I just told to unmute herself. Robin's here. Who else? Future Folk is here. Who else? I missed somebody. If I missed you, I apologize. Hello. Before we start in with the Snap, I like to obviously bring you something different, and I'm going to do that right now. Hold on. I saw this and I was like, this is insane, and I wanted to bring it to you, direct to you, because I wouldn't put a lot of this on this lovely thing, but.
All right, another big steak. You saw my 456er Gordon Ramsay actually liked, but now I've got my 9-inch tall 826er. Over 50-pound steak, yeah, so the garlic paste as the binder because I want the rub to stick. So we've got my Kendrick BBQ all meat with rosemary rub, and you just want to go thick because this is a big piece of meat, trying to get some flavor into it. Pull out that meter duo, just track that internal temp because I'm looking for about a medium rare. So the ironwood, we're going 250 degrees, and about, I think it was 3 to 4 hours later, I wanted to flip it, just move that probe, flip it over. So my first mistake on the first steak I did, I never flipped it. So I'm just trying to keep the color nice and even. So reposition that probe. Then a couple hours later, it was ready for the sear. We're sitting at about 125 internal. It already had nice crust on the outside, but I'm like, you know what? I'm still going to reverse sear this and just get extra crust on this steak because it's so big. So let's sear that sizzle. Yep, the flat rock was ready for this bad boy. Hitting all sides, even had a massive piece of fat on the side that just exploded. See how awesome that rendered, but again, the reverse sear is creating that much more crust, which leads to that much more flavor. So obviously this needs to rest, but I did make some compound butter, these massive discs, and then I'm gonna just kind of pull out my torch and melt that. Yeah, I was shooting for a medium rare. Had to let this rest for about 20 minutes because it's 826 ounces of beef. And here we go. But this is the part that Gordon Ramsay didn't like on my first cook, is where I took a bite out of my own steak. And yep, I did it again. This one's for you, Gordon. This was actually pretty good. That was the softest part of this steak, and it went straight down the hatch.
Oh, what is he going to do with the rest of that? What is he going to do with the rest of this beautiful, beautiful piece of meat? Who's over? Did he have the neighborhood over for this? Come on now. Come on now. So what I'm going to do is live react to a Steven Crowder clip about this after I get all my stuff out. So let's lay some foundation on this Snap controversy. Snap. What is Snaps? Okay. I'm laughing. because all day we've been waiting for a delivery to come that we have to sign for. Okay? And it came as I was starting my show, and poor Will was downstairs. Like, he got up just to get a cup of coffee, and they rang the doorbell. So he had to run to the door, and the dogs went nuts. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of meat we were just looking at. I'm in heaven looking at it. I can't even imagine what that thing tasted like. Anyway, what does SNAP stand for? It stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. What does that mean? Well, that means that the government is giving dollars to people who meet a certain economic criteria so that they may be able to purchase food. You can agree with that or you cannot agree with it. Luckily, whether you agree or not doesn't matter, because it is right now in existence and serving many families in this country, especially after COVID, okay? There are certain restrictions on SNAP, like, for example, they don't want you buying alcohol with it or cigarettes with it, because what the hell kind of nutrition is that? But what you can buy on it are soda and other candy and things that are just not good for you. Hence the nutrition portion of things not making very much sense. And with the advent of MAHA and this Make America Healthy Again message that is sweeping across the country, there's been a push to have states, because the way it works is the USDA ag sends the money to the states, and the states, if they want to change to what that money is used for, have to file a waiver with the government to be able to get that change. And so it comes from the state level. So as up until now, there hasn't been this waiver. The waivers have been denied. So whenever a state like New York tried to do this years ago, believe it or not, remember when Mayor Bloomberg banned sodas over a certain amount of ounces and everybody lost their minds? I lost my mind too. Why? Because the government shouldn't be banning what an individual should purchase, even if that purchase will be harmful to them. However, they're buying that with their own money, not my money, not your money, not tax dollars. And that is where this whole thing comes in. So if somebody is on government assistance because they are not able to support themselves as it exists right now, do you want that person to be healthy so that they can better themselves in all areas of life, maybe get another job or do something different or find supplemental income or not feel sick all of the time, which then will spur them to action? Like, if you are metabolically unwell and eating terrible food and drinking sugary soda, you are going to be sick. Whether you feel okay or not, your body is not well. You may think you feel great and you're healthy. I can guarantee you, within a shadow of a doubt, you're not. I'm more sure of this than anything I've ever said before. If you took a look at the average American who consistently drinks sugared beverages, soda, and all of this other stuff, diet or not, and this is a very nuanced discussion we're going to have today. They're not healthy. You're not healthy. Your body is contending with a metabolic wave of garbage that if you're dealing with, that is not assisting you in your health. I promise you, it's not. Sugar is one of the most addictive substances on the planet, which is why I think so many had such a visceral reaction. But anyway, I digress. New York was trying to do this with SNAP waivers a decade ago, and they were unable to do it. Why? Because Big Soda is, and I know that sounds crazy, but there is a thing, is buying off government agencies, and corporate capture is happening. The thing that MAHA is aiming to stop right now in our institutions. And Brooke Rollins has made it clear, Secretary Rollins has made it clear that she will accept these waivers from these states. So there are a number of states right now that have these waivers in so that benefits for SNAP cannot be used to purchase soda and other drinks that are not considered, quote, healthy. Now, let's take my opinion and insert it in here for a second. I don't think any sugary drink is healthy. I don't think Gatorade is healthy. I don't think Powerade is healthy. I don't think apple juice is healthy. I don't think orange juice is healthy. I don't think any fruit juice that is put in a can for your consumption is healthy. Maybe that makes me an extremist, or maybe I know something about what I'm talking about. Take a look at the back of your orange juice container. Hold on. Let's just look at Tropicana. Tropicana orange juice, nutritional label. Let's see if I can get this good here. Okay. Total carbohydrates, 12 grams. Sugars, 13 grams. This is in a half a cup of orange juice. This is in a thing of orange juice that can handle 4 servings. Let's see. That's an Etsy thing. Hold on. I want to get a real Tropicana orange juice label so you can see what I'm talking about. Here we go. Okay. Do we see this right here? Kroger 100% orange juice, pulp free. 29 grams of carbs, 21 grams of sugar. This is in a serving. There are 7 servings in the thing of orange juice. So oranges are packed full of sugar. You can argue with me until the cows come home. It's full of sugar. So, like, okay. I don't think that that's healthy, personally. But this is about soda. So let's stick to the soda, okay? There are bills in these states going through committee right now, several of them, where it would remove the ability to buy soda, and in some places to buy candy and sugary cereals and junk food with SNAP. And big business doesn't really like this because somewhere I've seen estimates of between $5 and $7 billion of SNAP benefits are going to the big beverage manufacturers like Coke and Pepsi. $7 billion a year. Yes, $7 billion a year. They're standing to lose if all of these states get these waivers passed that bar buying things that will kill you. I know that sounds crazy, but they will eventually, from SNAP funds, which are our tax dollars. Our tax dollars, me, you, everybody that pays taxes out there, are going to fund things that make people unhealthy. And then as they become more and more unhealthy, they lose more and more self-agency. And then they become dependent on government health care. And so what we end up doing is subsidizing the illness of a group of people who could really stand to benefit from being well, in terms of their energy, in terms of their connection to God, in terms of their acuity, in terms of their physicality and the way they get around, their kids' health, all kinds of other stuff. You can actually purchase the soda if you want with your own money. It's not going to be a SNAP purchase in the states that are passing these waivers. You can still buy your soda. Nobody's banning soda and taking it off the shelves. Everybody has a choice. You just can't choose to buy soda with my tax dollars because I don't want to subsidize illness for you and keep you on the government dole forever and ever and ever because you're sick and you don't realize in how many ways that sickness is affecting you in your daily life, from your motivation to your mental health and elsewhere. You can spend your own money on the soda because a lot of SNAP families work. They're not homeless. They're not out of a job. A lot of SNAP families work. A lot of families who are receiving SNAP benefits really need them and use them. Now, I don't agree with SNAP or entitlements as a whole, generally, myself, but that doesn't mean they're in existence. People are receiving them. A lot of people need them. There's a whole argument to be made around this about, you know, how it's being abused and everything else. We can get into that another day. That's not the conversation for today. The sole thing here is having your tax dollars fund somebody else's sugar addiction. That's what the argument is about. Should we as a nation be subsidizing illness in our most vulnerable population? The answer to that is no. We shouldn't. And so these states are taking it upon themselves to put these bills out. Well, turns out that the soda companies are freaking out about this. They actually have their own website. The American Beverage Association. Lots of brands are on this. And here is the initiative for, hold on, where is it? They have a whole Snap page. It's gone. ABA Snap. It was here yesterday. I'm going to find it. American. I would be so stunned if the fallout from what we were doing over the weekend has caused them. Here it is. New webpage. Here. Snap message guide. Snap overview one pager. So here, protecting Snap beverage choice. This is an organization that represents every major beverage maker and the chemical makers that make the chemicals that go in the beverages as well. Millions of Americans rely on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program to help feed their families. They deserve the same freedom to choose the foods and beverages that best fit their needs. Restricting products like soda from Snap won't make anyone healthier or save $1 in taxpayer spending, whether Snap costs today or healthcare costs tomorrow. In other words, sugar and soda is healthy for you. Restrictions will only grow government bureaucracy and costs while creating a slippery slope to the government deciding good and bad food. The fact is, beverages are not driving obesity and chronic disease in America. I should just stop right there. This is the messaging that's going out. And whoever is behind all this decided that, well, listen, if we want any chance of this going away, we are going to have to purchase ourselves some influencers. And everybody appreciates the influencers, right? MAGA appreciates the influencers. Maha appreciates the influencers. Let's buy off some influencers to push our messaging out to the general public. And that is what they did. I came across Eric's post. Now, most of these people have taken these posts down and said they were sorry. But this is the language that was in all of these posts over the weekend where they ran this campaign where they paid influencers, quote, to try to sell you on their propaganda. Important. We cannot allow Make America Healthy Again messaging to be used to force needy Americans into not buying certain things. Some officials in D.C. are working on trying to prevent Americans on SNAP from using those funds to purchase any soda. Remember when New York City Democrats tried to prevent people from buying and consuming soda? It backfired big time. President Trump literally has a Diet Coke button in his Oval Office. Let people think and decide for themselves. Anyone can consume soda and be perfectly fine in moderation. Unless we are just going to ban every food with sugar in it for SNAP Americans. The level of rage that I felt reading that. First of all, it's horrifically manipulative propaganda that person is putting out. And I couldn't believe it came from Eric. It was the easiest unfollow I've ever had in my entire life. He wasn't the only one. There were several. Ian Miles Chong, please, dude, seriously, you are such a shill. These people got ripped apart. Thank goodness. That's the thing. This is now the second time that they have tried to trot influencers, I hate that word, out in front of you guys and make you do something or believe something that's absolute and utter trash because of their status or their follower count. They're shilling for poison. They've trotted these people out and used them as like your masters to make you think a certain way, not realizing, and I'm realizing this more and more, that so many of you and me are wide awake to this. They don't care who's telling them the bullshit. They know it's bullshit. This did not fly. These people hurt themselves so badly in the eyes of the public for doing this nonsense that they were forced to like retreat. It reminds me of the Epstein binders. Oh, they're just stupid plebes. They'll believe anything you throw out there in front of them. Throw out these people with high follower accounts on social media and make them tell you that soda's actually healthy and the government shouldn't be introduced. That is my tax dollars. As soon as you go and you take tax dollars from the American public, we have a say in what gets done with them, and so does the government. So if you want to argue against entitlement programs, by all means, I'll be with you on the battlefield. But that's not what we're doing here. We're saying states are taking health very seriously now. We're not going to subsidize illness in our most vulnerable populations. We're going to try and make them make better choices with the money that they're stewarded with. If they want to go out and buy soda with their own money, they can do it. But they're not going to use the tax dollars from the American taxpayer to do it. And then I started getting all kinds of excuses and things. And I started to realize that everybody who was fighting back against this was actually just addicted to soda. Like, it was like taking drugs away from a drug addict. One person even said to me, oh, what? So now kids who are sick with the stomach virus can't have ginger ale? You're just going to keep the ginger ale away? And they were dead serious. And I'm like, you can purchase fresh ginger with your SNAP benefits. You don't need soda. You can purchase fresh ginger and use it to make a pure drink. If you need something with flavor, get yourself a couple lemons. You can make lemon water. Sugar is so bad for you in so many different ways. It is a main driver of inflammation. It causes your immune system to malfunction. It causes cancer. And then I started getting the people saying, well, diet soda has no calories and won't make you fat. To which I said, there's clearly a lack of information available for people to understand what the hell is in diet soda. Diet soda, a lot of diet soda is sweetened with a chemical sweetener called aspartame. These are just some of the ill effects of aspartame. On the pre-show, we talked about Monsanto introducing aspartame into the United States market. Aspartame can cause type 2 diabetes, allergies, preterm delivery, increased cravings, stroke, artificial sweet, cancer, headaches, depression, metabolic syndrome, weight gain, lupus, seizures, heart disease, kidney function decline, early menstruation, mood swings, Alzheimer's, obesity, and toxic liver disease. Aspartame. That's in diet soda. Those are the chemicals you're consuming when you consume diet, 0-calorie Diet Coke. It's just so bad for you. There are so many chemicals in this in these drinks. People don't know. They don't know, and they don't realize that every single day when they go shopping and they're in the supermarket and they're buying 0-calorie soda, Sprite Zero or whatever, what they're actually getting in their soda and what kind of a problem it's causing. Let's take a look at something really quickly. Diet Coke nutritional label. Here we go. No sugar, no carbs, right? I want to see the ingredients. Where are they? Diet Coke ingredients. It's like, what? I can't get a Diet Coke label anywhere? Okay, here we go. Water, carbonated water, caramel color, aspartame, phosphoric acid, natural and artificial flavors, sodium benzoate, and caffeine. Natural and artificial flavors. Guess what? They don't have to tell you what the hell that is. They don't have to tell you what that is. They can just put it in there. You don't need to know what it is. You're just ingesting it into your body. So all these people got paid off to put these posts up thinking they were going to manipulate you into being like, I don't want the government to decide what I'm supposed to do with my dollars. They're not.
Let me give you a concept. It's
Individual states are passing waiver bills to stop people dependent on government from poisoning themselves. Now, I haven't seen this yet. I just saw this come across. I'm interested to see what Steven Crowder says.
Let me give you a concept. It's novel here. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as this. You pay for it, whatever it is, food, healthcare. You choose. I pay for it. You don't. It's the difference between you going to the store and purchasing something for yourself. You can choose whatever you want. Versus me getting you a gift. You have no say in it.
It's the exact same thing I tell my kids at the ice cream truck.
I pay my rules.
I pay.
There you go.
You get Cheetos.
So this brings us to the snap.
You pay, you get ice cream.
If you don't finish your Cheetos, you don't get your Takis. Dad, can I have an avocado? No, you fig.
No. Those are corn chips.
So over the weekend, this whole thing, now SNAP, there's been discussion regarding banning soda and junk food from SNAP, right? This is the government program that pays for people's food. There were a bunch of influencers, many of whom were on the right, who copy-pasted talking points about SNAP. People on the right trying to tell you this is a conservative idea, saying a new war on soda has begun, targeting purchases made through SNAP. I don't believe it's the government's role to decide what people should or shouldn't eat. Restricting soda through SNAP is an unnecessary move by the government to control consumption, overstepping its authority and infringing on individual liberty. So this was framed. You have the left who think that you can trim nothing from government, and now you have people on the right, so-called influencers, who reportedly, by the way, were offered up to $1,000.
Jeez.
$1,000.
And were given direct talking points to try and advocate, as though it's a libertarian or conservative point of view, to keep junk food in SNAP. And by the way, Nick Shorter was the one who reported on this. Think about that so be very, very careful. And by the way, I would not trust anyone who put these out there and copy-pasted these talking points. They were even given the talking points about Donald Trump's Diet Coke button.
Yes.
Let me give you a comment.
They think you're stupid. They really do. And you know what? Some of these influencers, they're fine to just think you're stupid too. Anything for $1. I have so much to say about this for so many different reasons. And it's just so disappointing that people are so, they'll sell out so easy for $1. Like, it's just something to me. So Thomas Massey came out and said something about it today. He said, people should not be allowed to use food stamps to purchase sugary drinks like Coke and Pepsi. Libertarian arguments about choice do not apply here. The money being used for EBT was extracted from taxpayers who have no choice in whether they give up their money. This is why I love this man. He's so smart. Are we going to get to a place as a community where we just demolish this idea of, quote, influencers, and we just take power back? And I feel like there is a rapid and beautiful awakening going on. How do I go about this? My path has changed quite a bit. I have changed quite a bit in the past couple years. I lost I lost the passion that I had for the type of journalism I was doing because it got so corrupted and destroyed by people like that who gained the trust of a community and then would lie to them, and the people wouldn't realize they were being lied to, manipulated, and used. And then anyone who pointed it out would get attacked and slandered and slammed and drug. And it became like this virtual mob. And I didn't feel like independent journalism that, like, with actual integrity had any value to anybody. And then it got worse and worse and worse. And I think it's gotten even worse since the election, truthfully. I think that it's very hard to find good information out there coming from a place of pureness within somebody. There are very few people doing it. I know who I trust, and I'm trustworthy. Like, I know where my heart is. You know, you don't have to believe that. I think I demonstrate it pretty well because there's nowhere else. It's all here. It's right here. It's coming from my heart. Like, there's no, like, it's coming from here. All of it. So I was very disillusioned and very, very upset. It's almost like you try to rebuild something in the way it should be, and it just gets crapped all over in favor of the dollar. The almighty dollar comes in, and nothing matters anymore, and people are weaponized. And I see plagiarism, and I see lies, and I see incorrect reporting, and I see engagement farming, and I see attacks and nonsense, and we're supposed to be better than that, right? And all of a sudden, over the past couple months, it doesn't seem like that's been working. Like, they're using these same, quote, influencers they propped up to try and propagandize you. And myself included, we're all like, F off. We want authenticity and realness, and we want integrity, and we want what's good and what's right. And we know that you're lying to us, and you can kiss my A double crooked letter now. I'll never trust you again because you only have integrity once. You can't get it back once it's gone. You can't. Mistakes are one thing. That's not what I'm talking about. Doing something like this for a grand, for $1,000, like, it's so gross. You know, Ian started trickling this out before he posted it. He doesn't even live here, but he started with this, like, trying to make it, I know exactly what he was doing. He was trying to make it seem like he was in support of that. Well, why is the government stealing, telling people what they can and cannot buy? And I was like, he got slammed in his comments. And I'm like, the only reason he's doing this is because it's a contrary opinion and he's getting engagement farm material off of it. And then I realized after he came out with the cut and paste, wow, he was actually paid and he was trying to soften saying it was his actual position when he had contradicted that position in the past with other tweets he said. So, SNAP should not be used to subsidize the American people into metabolic, unwell, horrible health situations. If you're going to use my tax dollars to buy yourself food, I would only want that money stewarded in such a way that it makes you more healthy, it brings you back closer to God, it clears your mind, it gets rid of your depression, it gives you the energy you need in the morning to get up out of bed and go do something, find somewhere else you can go, or make your family's life better, or whatever you need to do so that you're at a little bit more of an advantage than you were before you got your SNAP benefits, hence making this dependency wheel that has been fed and nurtured by big pharma, big ag, big government in some corporate fascist alliance for so long that it stops because healthy people are ungovernable. Healthy people are ungovernable. They don't need anyone else to save them. They don't need the government. They need nobody else to save them on this earthly plane. Zero people. They make decisions for themselves. So people attacking Massey in the comments underneath this. All sugar addicts. That's the whole reason why this is so hard for people. They are addicted to sugar like Hunter Biden is addicted to cocaine. Allegedly. Let's get some Zoom calls going on today. I know Dr. Dentist's birthday is today. I know he'll want to come in because why not? If anybody else wants to join, please feel free. I'm going to share my sound on the screen in case I play a clip. I have Jasmine Crockett threatening people. The invite link is going in the Rumble chat right now. Gonna pin that up. Perfect. These things are literally, sugar is literally a poison that is harming countless numbers of people every single day. Countless numbers of people every single day. And it should not be subsidized with your tax dollars. And if you didn't know already, check the ingredient labels. If everybody who goes food shopping today and just looks at their ingredients of the things that they're buying and just try to read them, we should have a day where you throw things out there. Like, somebody join who's interested in this kind of stuff, and let's go through a list of foods that you consume right now as a normal American person who's like a little bit conscious about their health but hasn't really dove right in. And I've also been thinking, like, maybe I would want someone who's very carnivore curious to join the chat so that I could talk about the carnivore diet with them and kind of help them through how to start that live on air for everybody. Birthday boy's on his way in here. Hopefully. But while I wait for him, let's take a look at Miss Jasmine here that we outed as a here.
I think that you punch. I think you punch. I think you're okay with you okay with punching. You know, I think and I love Colin, and I think towards the end he started to punch a little harder. But like, it's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard, right? Like, there is no niceties with him. Like, at all. Like, you go clean off on him, right? I think that you
Why do we always have to use violent rhetoric when we're talking about things like this? Why? I think Mark is having a hard time getting in today. I let him in. Here we go. Maybe not. Maybe not. I see this. There he is. Can't hear you.
Hello?
There you are. Okay.
Yeah.
How are you today?
Good.
Happy
You don't have to sing.
birthday.
Thank you. You don't have to sing. You don't want to.
I will. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dr. Dentist Mark. Happy birthday to you. There you go.
Thank you, Tracy. You should sing more in the show. make a rap about Snap.
Yeah, I know. I'm good. This fired me up all weekend. I was like fuming over it. Just terrible.
It's kind of a little bit like the Fruit Loop argument. Like, we don't want cereal anyway, but it's like a Jedi mind trick.
How so?
Well, like, they talk about the Fruit Loops and getting the right Fruit Loop coloring in our country, so we can
Yeah.
So it's kind of analogous a little bit.
That argument, like, I don't appreciate either. You're right. We shouldn't be eating cereal at all.
I mean, I soak oats, and I sometimes do like oats with nuts with dates or something like that. But you really have to ferment that stuff. I mean, almost. Yeah.
Not a big fan.
Well,
I know I could be considered extreme, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'd love to talk about things you were talking about. The Snap stuff is, I understand the argument. I didn't realize all those influencers were went the other or had gone in the other direction today, over the weekend, but I didn't really pay attention.
What do you mean with the fact
What
that
they you were saying? Well, they're talking about freedom of choice with Snap, which you don't really have freedom of choice. So, but I looked it up. I threw something on that I put on Grok, which was just that in the 60s, it was more of like the surplus might have been cheese and surplus that agriculture had. So they gave people blocks of cheese and they gave people those things, but that's not what it is now. I mean, we subsidize corn syrup and corn. So our subsidies are, our excesses might be the wrong food like soy and corn. So yeah, anyway, it's interesting, but I don't know what happened to those people they were slammed down, but that should happen. I mean, that's good. That's what we should have, a democracy on the internet here.
Yeah, it never used to be that way. Like, you used to see these people do this and everybody would just be like clapping seals. And like some of the people who were wise to it would say something like, guys, stop acting like clapping seals and sheep. And then they'd get attacked. It's like
if I said, don't use Ozempic on obese children, or something like that. But they'll switch the argument and they'll say, well, they won't talk about the reason why the kids are heavy to begin with.
Or have diabetes.
And you're withholding that drug from somebody who might suffer if they stay obese. So, I mean, it's a bait and switch sometimes.
That drug is so, if you have a health condition that, really warrants it, then fine. And it's still dangerous, but you have to weigh those risks versus the reward for you, the risk profile of it. But to just dose it out to everybody who wants to lose 15, 20 pounds.
Yeah, well, I kind of talked about Ozempic, but going back to the sugar thing, what do you think is the argument? Like Callie and Casey, they're talking about getting sugar out of the Snap also. I mean, is it a federal way they would do it then?
Well, no.
Because I thought he had all these bills ready to go. I heard him say he has everything ready to go.
Well, yeah, and Maha's working on them too. It's the state level.
Okay.
At the state level, the state needs to file a waiver that allows them to be to discretionize what they're going to spend their SNAP, what they're going to allow people to spend their SNAP money on. So the state has to pass this waiver and then submit it to Rollins, and then Rollins yeas or nays the waiver. And in the past, the federal government has said, no, we're not going to grant this waiver to remove this stuff from the SNAP program, because they were being lobbied and bought off by the companies that are going to lose $7 billion a year when people can't buy their soda anymore. So now,
I mean, they're sensitive. They have to play a weird role because it is a lot of money that went into making all those Snickers bars, and they make 1 million Hershey's Kisses a day or whatever they're doing. So changing your food is a big loss. I mean, when they talk about not buying cereal, they get hit pretty fast. So anyway, I don't know what I was trying to say there, except that the public pressure should be. The campaign has to be what's real food again, what's good for our bodies.
Yeah, and the free market will take care of ingredients. Once people are educated on them and demand a change, that's why you started to see the seed oil thing roll out. Because consumers were not saying, consumers were saying, I'm not going to an establishment that doesn't use real fats to fry in.
Yeah, I revisited a book I had called The Poison Squad, which was a bestseller. It was about the turn of the century when the purity of food and actually labeling. So there was a group of individual employees that went to the agriculture department, had 3 square meals there, and that was the study. There was a doctor who was he ran the whole thing, but he made them eat the things that were in the food, and they were putting copper sulfate in meats, and canned stuff was bad and spoiling. I think I mentioned this on a show before, but that book, I reread a little bit of it, and like the sugar, the candy had lead acetate in it, and
sounds
they
tasty.
were doing, but so the people were getting food, they were buying food, and it was not even labeled, so you might buy pepper and have something else in it, like coconut shells, and so it was that's when Heinz came out with Pure Food 57, Heinz. So it had ketchup, vinegar, and salt, or sugar.
You
whatever.
looked at your
And it was
ketchup.
clean.
You look at your ketchup label lately.
Yeah, I know, it's wild. So it's going back like 100 years, and it's coming back around again, which is kind of interesting. Like the fourth turning, like all these ideas come back around and circle back.
What's crazy is that, like, I feel like as a civilization, there are many of us who are going back to primal times where we probably weren't. We were obviously not as technologically advanced. Our consciousness wasn't as advanced as it is now at all, but we were much, quote, healthier. So now we have the benefit of industrialization in the way that it makes it so that we have clean water and clean whatever. We don't have to worry about disease the way we did because of the sanitary conditions we live in now. But we're also going to start consuming the same foods and treating our bodies the same way as our ancestors did. So we have like a double punch of health where like our spirit's waking up and we're also learning how to really actually truly nourish our body at the same time with the benefit of all of these innovations that have come through technology and everything else.
I mean, it's the Western society that's technically benefiting the most for all these things on Earth, but there's so many people that don't even have shoes, like half the population of the planet. And, they more real food than us. We're the ones that are controlled, and we're the ones taking most of the pharmacopoeia out there on the world.
Yes, and I would argue we should take our shoes off more.
Yeah. Well, it's all like what's real and what's been what are we spoon fed on TV? The commercial thing. I like the Kennedy's idea about getting commercials off. I was bombarded by cereals. I was bombarded by cereal commercials, when I watched cartoons as a child, Captain Crunch and all that. Probably my first fillings were from Captain Crunch.
Well, it's just sugar in a box with all kinds of other crap in it.
Yeah, like goldfish now are probably worse than sugar. I just found out. Technically speaking, they're so pulverized that they act like sugar in the grooves of your teeth. So like kids getting those little snacks over and over again.
Well, let's take a look here. Hold on. Goldfish. One pouch.
Serving size. These things were all these labeling practices were happened 100 years ago. But these are what are lobbied upon now, like different names for sugar and preservatives.
Let's read. Are you ready?
Let's read it. I don't know if I can read it.
I can read it. 28 grams of carb in one pouch.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Made with Smiles and unbleached enriched wheat flour, which contains flour, niacin, reduced iron, thiamine monotrate, vitamin B1, riboflavin, folic acid, cheddar cheese, which is actually real cheese that they have pretty much, vegetable oil.
The iron. Yeah. Vegetable oils and the iron. I told you about that last time. It's really bad that it's iron shavings. It's too harsh for our bodies. For little kids, I mean, it actually feeds the microbiome terribly in the gut. The iron does.
It says here sunflower, canola, and or soybean. So all of those oils, seed oils.
GMO.
Right here.
Well, the GMO, like it doesn't tell you how much glyphosate's in there, but I bet you it's pretty high up.
Well, yeah, they're not using organic wheat.
Right.
All right, what else are we looking
Anyway,
at?
I hate to throw people under the bus, but our food needs to change. And if they're going to have alternatives, if they're going to have a cracker, it should be sort of real and safe. But everything has heavy metals and glyphosate. Very depressing.
Hold on. We're doing another one.
Anyway, we're happy to have a happier show here. What are we going to talk about?
We're going to do another label here.
Hold
on.
Okay, 100 calories. I can read that.
No, I'm trying to find a good one, but I hold on a second.
I was talking about Doritos before because they also told you they would make more when Jay Leno said eat them. They would make more. So don't worry about it. So it gives you that guilt. Oh, I'm not guilty for eating them because they'll still make them for everybody else. So anyway, the verbiage.
A cup of cereal, Dr. Dentist.
Yeah, a cup.
25 grams of carbs, 12 grams of sugar in 1 cup of cereal.
Which is more than usually pour out in a bowl.
Yes.
Probably more than a cup. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm trying to find
Well, I want to do an experiment with the iron where you crush the cereal and get a magnet on it. But I haven't done
Everybody
that
was
yet.
doing that. This one says it has 60% maize flour, wheat flour, and oat flour, sugar, vegetable oil, salt, natural colors.
Well, it has natural colors. You must be on a Canadian website.
I know.
So
I was just thinking that. I don't. It's on the Kellogg's website. It's the. Yes, you're right. It's
the
Australia.
new and improved website.
It's Australia. It's Australia's
It's
Kellogg's.
Australia.
Hold on.
Well, that is a thing that Bonnie Harry or Harry I always forget the name.
You were
But
right.
that, you know, they're bringing the correct, appropriate ingredients should be on there that don't kill us. That would be nice.
Frosted Flakes, milled corn, sugar, malt flavor. Milled corn. Let's see. View smart label. This is for Frosted Flakes. How much sugar?
Sugar.
1 cup has 33 grams of carbohydrates and 12 grams of sugar in 1 cup.
I have a slide that has cereal boxes, old cereal boxes, like Sugar Smacks. Doesn't exist anymore, but it's pretty funny. Smack, you know, we were talking about addiction earlier,
Yeah.
but they actually called it Smacks. You know, Smack. Like, I guess that would be some kind of drug, illegal drug. But there was one slide for Twix where the rabbit's looking at the cereal with a magnifying glass, and it shows the crystals of sugar on the cereal, so you actually know you have more there.
Well, it's always good to have
He's
sugar.
identifying it. He's identifying it.
Look, they're saying right here that it's bioengineered food. Right on the website, they have to disclose that it's GMO.
Oh my God.
Yep. It's
Well,
bad.
I like your infinity symbol, by the way. I meant to tell you that last time.
Thanks.
That it's not like the half one that they have in Wicked, in the movie Wicked, which is a half infinity.
No, it's a
which is
whole
weird.
infinity symbol.
Yeah, which is weird. The half infinity.
A dear friend.
That's
of
something
mine.
I picked a card this month, and it's Spider, which is infinity.
Really?
Yeah. The spider has an infinity like representation, a web. Anyway, Tracy, you got me because I'm in your in this movement now, right? You got me.
Well, I got you. Yes, I'm just yes.
Did you read my little muse I had? Okay,
Nope.
that's okay. I took the executive order and dissected it with things I thought of when I was reading it.
I'm just honest, and I'm not
That's
going to tell
okay.
you I read something I didn't read yet.
Did you oil pull with tallow yet?
No.
Well, you said you promised. Don't promise stuff to me, then.
Well, I mean, I don't even have time to effing breathe, let alone
you
think about
can
tallow.
oil pull tallow when you're cooking if you want. I don't mean to be mean. I'm just teasing you.
I know. I need to oil pull my tallow. I'm looking to see if we have.
I did it the other day. It's not bad.
I have.
It's strong if you're not used to it.
I have very good tallow downstairs. Oh yeah, Gigi's saying here that all the kids are addicted to Takis. Yes. Do you know what turns your shit the color of the Takis?
No, what is What is that?
Takis are like the worst thing you can consume. They're this corn chip. I don't even know if it's corn. Taki ingredient.
Oh, it has a lot of dyes in it, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh. It's so bad. Hold on. Taki
What, do they do it on purpose to make their poop colored and they tell people about it? Or is that a thing?
This is the.
'Cause that's kind of weird. Yeah.
Is this Takis?
I would never send you a picture of my stool, Tracy.
I hope not, for God's sakes. Not even on your birthday, please.
That's funny.
I want the Taki instructions.
Patients show us their stool, though. You know that, Tracy. I mean, they'll show us the
Dentist,
they're doing it.
you're getting
People will bombard me with pictures of their
poop.
worms. Yeah, like sometimes you see worms and parasites coming out.
Okay, but
Anyway, they like to share that sometimes.
someone in the comments said, "I'm guessing Takis are a way to get your poop to look like Shrek." Here, peanuts, wheat flour,
Oh,
vegetable oil, canola and palm oil, modified cornstarch, cornstarch
Gotta be a-
seasoning. What?
it's got to be a dye, some kind of dye.
Maltodextrin, citric
Yellow.
acid, chili pepper, monosodium glutamate.
Yellow Lake, Sick Lake.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I want to read them all.
I'm
Cool.
sorry, I could read them from here.
I know.
Surprised.
Lucky you. You could see cumin, spices, acetic acid, natural and artificial flavors, yellow 6 lake, calcium silicate, red 40 lake, yellow 5 lake, sugar, dextrose, peanut skin, maltodextrin, sodium bicarbonate, ammonium bicarbonate, and salt. Yes, let's buy those for our kids. How about it?
Especially when they're on the lake, fishing.
Just gross. I just don't understand why people...
Did you like that joke? That was a good joke.
I don't understand why people are showing you their crap as a dentist. Like, why?
Because they detox. Mercury, we detox people, or people are detoxing when they get the mercury out. So then they start to dump all kinds of stuff through their feces. Anyway, it's disgusting. But I usually work around this area.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one end of the alimentary canal. Oh, I like that video where the guy from when you were with Frank. It was the giant bedroom with the like on an island in the middle of the closet. He said the teeth. It looked like porcelain teeth. Porcelain teeth.
Yeah, I actually thought about you when I saw that. It was the island. It was an infinity bedroom. That's what they're calling that.
Oh,
now.
Infinity bedroom. I like that guy who was talking about it. He's funny. Anyway, people have all kinds of ideas where to put things and what to do, and
hopefully not.
But we're putting our money where our mouth is now, aren't we, Tracy?
We need to be.
This stuff. Yeah.
If they're not gonna, if they have people, it's just so frustrating seeing like kids running around poisoning themselves all day long.
There's a good podcast. I'm a Weston Price guy, but there was just a dentist who I know on their last podcast, which is Hilda Labrada Gore does a beautiful podcast. They're like 500 something now. I did one, but this guy really laid it out there, and he talked about flossing incorrectly and some bristles. And remember how we got into the Anyway, it's just a nice podcast supporting them. I mean, they talk about all these moms who want to have babies need to have a clean womb, and they need to have no fillings, and they need to eat right. So the milk is like, he started talking about the milk that the mother would make in a healthy body versus a unhealthy body. I'm just starting to think, I guess we're animals and we're mammals, right? But milk filters fluoride, or the breast filters fluoride, so it's becoming like this something to think about.
Did you see the whole segment that I posted on my X that I did with Zen Honeycutt? I
don't think so, honey.
You should go check it out. Zen Honeycutt founded Moms Across America, and her.
Yeah. I saw some of that. Yeah, the soy is crazy. Yeah.
Well, in the interview that I did with her, we went through in the beginning. There was a pediatrician. When I hosted the High Wire, we went through all the benefits of breastfeeding, all of them, and it's like it's a miracle. Why the frig are we like?
In fact, a bottle does the wrong thing
to your teeth.
The nipple goes, but so there's also these devices to try to make that mouth seem like it's on a breast, idea. But the way we used to live is what we're going back to, and nursing was really important in a lot of communities.
The percentage
you didn't have soy, you couldn't get formula, right? Also, but our conveniences are making us sick. That's what I got into with the fluoride in the water, where if you start adding that to formula, then you even have more of an issue.
Which they did back in the day. Dentists were like, put this in your kid's water. Put this in your kid's formula. Fluoride.
Yeah. Anyway, we're learning about it. I love doing your show. Thank you for your icing on the cake of my birthday cake.
Well, thank you so much. I do have to end it on time.
No problem.
Which is now. But I'm so glad that you're here.
Watching it.
On your birthday.
Thank you.
And everyone loves you, so you're welcome back any Monday.
I just want to help people, and people know how to reach out, I guess, at this point. I'm not trying to advertise here necessarily. Although I will say, I'm going to start to say I'm looking for an associate to train in biological dentistry, so I can pass on all my brain, all the work I've done. And
that's very cool.
My thought pattern on it. So people who get out of school or who might be disenchanted with like corporate dentistry or some kind of, they at least have some years under their belt. They're usually not worrying.
I lost your sound. It's gone. I don't know why.
I didn't press it.
There we go.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know where you lost me, but I don't want to advertise me per se. We're pretty busy, but I want to train somebody someday to take over. You know, maybe I have 10 or 15 years under my left for me, you know, doing what I'm doing. But I want to train someone because our location's really cool for holistic, you know, biological drives, because people do drive far
I would.
to see us. Yeah.
I would. Not that far.
South Carolina is, you know, you're 7 hours.
That's all. That's all.
Yeah.
No big. Well, thank you, Mark. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Don't eat any cake.
I don't know if I see my son, we might get ice cream.
No. No. I'll talk to you.
I mean, I got to have 5%. I'm a pretty clean eater.
Just put some vanilla.
What I do is I do a little bit of bacteria too when I eat that. So it's like I'm feeding those other bacteria. So I'll do like kefir or yogurt or probiotic.
Well, just don't use sugar to sweeten it. You'll be fine. Use some honey. How's that?
Yeah, we do yogurt with peanut butter and banana, like Elvis thing, with a little bit of maple syrup, which is running right now, big time here. Like your pollen, our syrup's running.
I
right
do
now.
have the stuffy nose.
No, you had on your show.
I know.
Pollen.
I know. It's crazy.
I didn't think it would be any. Anyway.
I'm sorry.
Take
I'm
care.
just on such a hard stop and I can't stop talking to you, and it's just a mandatory thing that I do.
It's okay. I don't know how to be on these shows. So.
Well, I love
Lead
you.
me.
And happy
Lead
birthday.
me. Thank you very much.
All right.
Another great show.
Thanks. Bye.
Take care.
Oh, goodness. I'm really bad at ending things and conversations. I'm just not good at it, but I'm now late. So we're going to do the outro. We will see you back here on what day? Wednesday? On Wednesday. We'll see you on Wednesday.